What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Swisher coming back at you with my own Texan thoughts. Now, yes, I'm still, happy about the win yesterday. That was a really good win, and it actually made me go back and think, this offense, it was doing pretty good and got the W. Now, could we make it better? Yes, we can. And just hear me out on this one, but think about this, and like I say, just realistically think about it. Houston hardly ever trades for guys, but now would be the time for them to do so. And the guy who I would love to see them trade for, Brandon Marshall. And here's why I say Brandon Marshall. Let's start with the fact that the Jets are 1-5. Let's start there. Let's also go with the fact that Brandon Marshall wants to win. He wants. I can go on a limb and say that Brock is having a better year than Fitz, but if you put a guy like B. Marshall in our system, now you don't have to line him up as a receiver. Seeing as how we have another hole, at tight end, CJ is coming on strong. I can respect it and I like it. But in this system, you need two tight ends to be able to dominate. Like I said, you go and you trade for a guy like Brandon Marshall. Now you can move him to that spot. Because mind you, he's not a little person. You know what I'm saying? He's 6'4", 230. Standard size for a tight end. And he still got legs under him. He's not old and withered, you know what I'm saying? He can still go and move. Now, I'm pretty sure y'all wondering what I would give up to get him. Again, seeing as how the salary cap is getting ready to go up, we would be able to pay him. And I believe his contract is getting ready to be up in another year or two anyway, if I'm not mistaken. But I would definitely give up a third, a fourth, and maybe another fourth for next year. Now, why would I give up those 3 picks for a guy like Brandon Marshall? Like I said, they're not good this year, so they're rebuilding. They can use all the picks that they can use all the picks they can get at this point to rebuild that roster. This helps both sides. Now, with that being said, you now have an extra weapon to use on offense. Denver did it last year with Vernon Davis. He had somewhat of an impact, but not that big of an impact. And personally, I do feel that with them trading for him, you give Brock the weapon on offense, the extra weapon that he's probably been missing. Seeing as how the other teams want to play this 2-man under with us a lot, guess what? When you got a guy like Brandon Marshall being able to run those inside post routes, now you have guys like D-Hop that can flash open, across the middle, or he'll have that one-on-one coverage deep down the field. Same goes for Fuller. You got to be able to, as a GM, you got to be able to make smart moves and make this happen. Now, think about it from a longevity standpoint. Now, you go and say Rick Smith does this and he brings him in. Now, not only does this team get better offensively, but as a team, the whole team gets better because, like I said, he'll be able to play the rest of this year, and he'll be able to play next year. Guess who's coming back next year? 99. Now that I've gotten that part out of the way, via free agency, what I would do, I would sign me some linemen. If Andrew Whitworth becomes a free agent, I'm bringing him in on a 2-year deal. If it looks like Jason Peters is going to get cut, due to their salary cap issues, I'd also bring him in on a 2-year deal. Again, the cap is going up, and now I know what they're saying. I'm pretty sure what you're thinking. You still got to pay Hop. Hop's going to get paid. He's going to get paid. Now, just thinking about the numbers, after bringing in a guy like Marshall, it wouldn't hurt us that much on the cap, but for the sake of the team, if it meant being able to chase a deep playoff run, potentially a Super Bowl, which will be in Houston, by the way. If I'm Hop, I would take a pay cut. The great ones take the pay cut, and what is the end result? Wins, Super Bowls, multiple consistent playoff appearances. Facts. Now, back to the linemen. Like I said, if those guys became free agents, I'd bring those guys in on a 2-year deal. And to be honest, that'd really be it in free agency. You get you some linemen. Now, on to the draft. Now, mind you, you're giving up only a third of this year, and then a third and a fourth for next year due to the B. Marshall trade. So you still got your first, second, fourth, fifth, and sixth. With those first 2 picks, I'm drafting me a D-back. Kevin Johnson just broke his foot. For those who don't know, if you didn't watch the video that I made earlier, yes, he broke his foot. So he's out for the year. You gotta be, as a GM, you gotta be smart and have a backup plan for when guys like Jonathan Joseph and Kareem Jackson, become free agents. I personally believe that both guys have a year left in Houston. Before they both be like, before Houston does what they did to Foster and Hoyer. You guys are not only getting older, but you're not producing. So, we gotta do what we gotta do. Bam, you make that happen. You've got a little more, wiggle room to make and pay people. Like I said, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of a bunch of things right now, and my mind is like, but no. Drafting a corner in the first round, it would definitely make a ton of sense. And everyone's and people, I'm pretty sure there's some that would disagree with this, but like I said, you got to think about it. This is a pass happy league. Teams, in order, you got to have good cover guys now. Basically, the NFL is saying you have to have good cover. You can't touch a guy. You can't touch a wide receiver after 5 yards. Otherwise, it's a 5 yard penalty and an automatic first down. Teams don't like giving that up. So guess what? You gotta have guys that can cover. Again, with K Jack and J Joe being out of the lineup, you know, now you have not Jonathan Joseph. You have Kevin Johnson coming back healthy. J.J. Watt coming back healthy. A first round cornerback who's gonna probably be pressed into playing. Oh yeah, by the way, that corner. I'm gonna go do my homework and my research on the corners coming out that can potentially come out this year, and who I feel we should pick there. You know, but the qualities that I look for in my corners, of course, he's got to be able to cover. He's got to be able to do that. But just like how we did on the offensive side of the ball, equip it to the defense as well. Get you a faster defensive back. Everybody thought I was bullshitting when I said guys like Sam Shields would become a good corner. Guess what? I was fucking right. Now, true enough, he went to a Packers defense that was kind of stacked. Yeah, but that's just the front seven. That doesn't take away the fact that this guy is a good athletic corner that can cover. You know, the Cromarties of the world don't really come out of college, you know, that often. So it's hard to find guys that can have that 4.3, 4.2 speed and it's like 6'2" and, you know, 200 something pounds. Those guys don't come often. So you definitely go and you get you a faster corner. You know, you pair him up with Kevin Johnson. You got JJ coming back, and of course everybody on defense is still coming back strong. Now with the second pick, again, I'm still going to stand on the defensive side now, and this is the one that most people are not going to agree with, but it will pay dividends. I'm going and I'm getting me another pass rusher. Now, my brand of pass rushers are those linebackers that are 6'4", maybe 6'3", 6'4", good 240, 245. You know, those hybrid linebackers that can, you know, if they need to be kicked inside and play inside backer, you could do that. Guess what? We just so happen to have a vacant. I mean, not a vacancy, but Cush is not gonna be able to continue doing what he's doing forever. You gotta have a backup plan for him as well. Guess what? That pass rusher that you drafted, now you kick him as an inside linebacker, and you let him go from there. Mind you, he was a pass rusher before Mike linebacker, so when you want to throw those exotic blitzes, you can do that with, you know, with this guy being able to rush from the inside. The move that I was talking about with the corner, it also helps, you know, because you're able to run man-to-man coverage and you can blitz a little bit more. Again, facts. But that's all I got for this video, man. These are my Texans thoughts. As always, shout out to my boy Ray Ray. Shout out to my boy LaFlame. Like, sub, and peace, man. Go Texans.